Russia has claimed to have used Kinzhal, its newest hypersonic missiles, for the first time in Ukraine on Friday, to destroy storage of weapons in the country's western part. Kinzhal has been termed as a game-changer as Russia was testing it, now that it claims to have used it in the war going on for the past few weeks. Experts are closely watching whether the deployment of Kinzhal brings a new turn in the conflict. The Kinzhal was among several latest-generation strategic weapons that Putin said at the time could overcome any U.S. defenses. Hypersonic missiles travel at lower trajectories than conventional ballistic missiles, making them harder to detect. They can also maneuver to evade missile defense systems. Not a hypersonic weapon. Despite Russia's claims about the Kinzhal and its development of other next-generation systems, many experts in the West say the significance Russia ascribes to these weapons is exaggerated. The Center for Strategic and International Studies notes, for instance, that Russia's designation of the Kinzhal as a hypersonic missile is somewhat misleading, as nearly all ballistic missiles reach hypersonic speeds at some point during their flight. Furthermore, the United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense stated that the use of the Kinzhal was likely intended to detract from a lack of progress in Russia's ground campaign and unlikely to materially affect the outcome of Russia's campaign in Ukraine. Analysts believe that the Kinzhal is derived from the ground-launched 9K720 Iskander-M short-range ballistic missile. Both weapons achieve hypersonic speeds through a quasi-ballistic, unpredictable flight trajectory without departing the atmosphere. The primary difference between the Kinzhal and its purported predecessor is that the Kinzhal is launched by an airborne vehicle rather than from the ground, making it less predictable, harder to intercept, and potentially more survivable than the Iskander ground system. While the Kinzhal travels at hypersonic speeds, it likely is not as advanced as Russia suggests. Modern hypersonic weapons, which are being developed by China, Russia, and the United States, fit under the category of either hypersonic glide vehicles or hypersonic cruise missiles, while the Kinzhal, an air-launched ballistic missile, falls into neither of these categories. New weapon system. Various theories have emerged as to why Russia chose to employ the Kinzhal, given that its strategic capabilities do not appear to significantly change the situation on the ground in Ukraine. Some analysts have suggested that the destructive power of the Kinzhal system would make it more efficient at destroying underground storage sites. Alternatively, other Western analysts have theorized that Russia may be running out of Iskander short-range ballistic missiles and is using the Kinzhal instead. From a strategic point of view, Russia could have employed the weapon as a sign to both Ukraine and NATO that it is able and willing to escalate the conflict. Others posit that the Kinzhal use may have little to no strategic motivation behind it at all. Instead, it may be as much a marketing strategy aimed at boosting Russia's foreign military sales by exaggerating the missile's capabilities and showcasing Russia's military prowess. Finally, some experts conclude that the two Kinzhal strikes on Ukraine had different objectives. While the first appeared to have a genuine military mission of striking underground weapons storage facilities, the second may have simply been to test the new system in an operational environment. Russia used the conflict in Syria to test various new weapons systems, and it is likely that the current conflict in Ukraine is being used for the same purpose. What is a Kinzhal? The Kh-47M2 Kinzhal, which means dagger in Russian, is a Russian-made nuclear-capable hypersonic aeroballistic air-to-surface missile, which is able to perform evasive maneuvers in flight. A Kinzhal is 8 meters long and can reach Mach 10, which is 10 times faster than the speed of sound. Mach 5 to Mach 10 speeds are classified as hypersonic. The missile weighs 9,500 pounds, 4,300 kilograms, and can carry a conventional or nuclear payload of up to 1,110 pounds, 480 kilograms. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, a July 2018 report by the Russian TASS news agency suggested that a Kinzhal can achieve a range of over 1,800 miles, 2,000 kilometers, if launched from a Tupolev Tu-22M strategic bomber. Once launched, a Kinzhal rapidly achieves Mach 4, 3,000 miles per hour, and can reach speeds of up to Mach 10, 7,600 miles per hour. These speeds, combined with the missile's erratic flight trajectory and its extreme maneuverability, make interception extremely difficult. Kinzhal development. The Kinzhal was one of 6 new-generation weapons unveiled by Vladimir Putin during a speech on March 1, 2018, when the Russian president said it was Moscow's response to the U.S.'s decision in 2002 to abandon the 1972 Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty, a bilateral agreement between the Soviet Union and U.S. and considered the cornerstone of the mutual containment system. Putin said Kinzhals had already been installed in Russia's southern military district, an area that includes the Black Sea. A few days later, on March 11th, Russian media published images of a test launch of a Kinzhal from a modified supersonic MiG-31. Although the video did not show the missile's final impact, the Russian Ministry of Defense described the test a success. The Russian Ministry of Defense said on Saturday that Moscow had used a hypersonic Kinzhal missile for the first time in order to destroy a large underground warehouse of missiles and aviation ammunition in Dyatlov, eastern Ukraine. On Sunday, the Kremlin said it deployed further Kinzhals in an attack on a military base in the Zhytomyr region in northwestern Ukraine, near the border with Belarus.